Knowing the ending in advance can really mess up how much enjoyment you can get from a story. Like in 1 Kings chapter 3, it sounds like a really good story. Matter of fact, some people like to just block out how the story ends and tell this story, and it sounds wonderful if you don't listen to the ending. Because in 1 Kings 3, Solomon, David's son, has become king. And God appears to him and says, I will grant, it's almost like a genie thing. I'll give you a wish. What would you like for an answer to any prayer you have? Would you like to be wealthy? Do you want money, power? What would you like? And Solomon replies in verse 9 of chapter 3, so give your servant, give me, a discerning heart to govern your people and distinguish between right and wrong, for who is able to govern this great people of yours? And so Solomon asks for wisdom, which is just such a great answer. And you're going, that is so cool. I am so happy for Solomon because he picked the right answer. And God even says, because you picked that, I'm going to give you power and I'm going to give you money. But Solomon doesn't live a wise life. He uses it some, and early on he's very wise, but God had told him in advance, okay, one of the things I don't want a king doing is going off marrying foreign women, because those foreign women will turn the king's heart away from the true God. And you know what Solomon did? He went out and married a bunch of foreign women, and they turned his heart away from the living God. He said, don't be accumulating things. Matter of fact, he specifically said, don't go to Egypt and buy a bunch of horses. And you know what Solomon did? He went down to Egypt and bought a bunch of horses. And so by the time Solomon's done, there is so much tension in the kingdom because he's been living so poorly that there is a divisiveness. And his son gets all the blame because as soon as Solomon leaves, the kingdom splits into a northern and southern kingdom. And his son gets the blame, but it's really Solomon's fault. And I want to just jump in on Solomon at some point early and quote Paul to him in Galatians 5:7. It says, you were running a good race. Who cut in on you to keep you from obeying the truth? And can I ask you the question? Did you start out good, but is someone cutting in on you, some idea cutting in on you, some thought, some leader, some anything cutting in on you, comfort cutting in on you that's keeping you from running the good race, from continuing to obey the truth? Like I would say to Solomon, turn back to that chapter 3 of your life when you were asking God for wisdom and wanting to live into that wisdom. Because I don't want you to end your life like Solomon with such a great start and such a bad finish. Keep running the good race, keep leaning on God, and keep asking him for wisdom instead of pursuing things that will undermine everything you've lived for before. And that's today's Jumpstart.